Brickhouse Productions Premiere.
Yeah. Parades in my city like Vegas. Like Vegas? I need 1 million people screaming my name. Really, I'm not with the bull, I'm stubborn, baby. Maybe I will or maybe I won't, and that's a whole lot of maybes. Got a whole lot of babies. They need some brand new Mercedes. Can't wait till we take flight. No more asking for favors. I got a plug on the west side.
It's been like 6 months? It might be even longer than that. Dude, when was the last time we rocked?
Dude, I didn't even know this show was still going on. I got the call. They're like, you were calling out. I'm like, what?
What's up, y'all, man? Yo, it's Koffe Black, man. Jack Brickhouse, calling Audibles. An episode long overdue. It has been so much that has happened since we have last talked to you guys. Oh my God. I'll try to record a special in the COVID, in the quarantine. Trump is gone. Biden's here. That shit was crazy. That shit was wild. That whole process was nuts. Capitol got stormed. That was nuts. Everything's been nuts. I had back surgery. God damn. I just had back surgery 3 weeks ago. Had a bad bone fusion on my spine. This has been a process. But we come to you on the weekend of what is it? Is April? What's the date today?
It's the 11th.
April 11th. It's the 11th. It's the 11th. It's a Sunday. 2 days after the big homie X is gone, man. Shout out to DMX, man. Rest in peace. Bro, you know what? That shit fucked me up, bro. That shit fucked me up. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like, that shit fucked me up. That whole thing with X fucked me up. Like, cause we grew up with X. Like, X is, I remember when X had first came out, motherfuckers was saying, like, yo, it's a nigga that's gonna be the next Tupac. That's how far I go back. Like, I remember niggas like, yo, it's this nigga named DMX. That's when stop, shut. When them niggas was on the, you know, them niggas in New York, they be on the motorcycles and dirt bikes and shit. You know what I'm saying? Remember the video, the Rough Riders, like, remember the video? Like,
yeah, that shit was huge.
You know what I'm saying? On the side, Drake with the white beater, you know what I'm saying? The sterling silver, it might have, I mean, you know, I was rocking sterling silver when I was trying to be with the white beater and the dogs and the pit bulls and all that shit. Like, we were young. What was that, like 97?
Yeah, I think, about something like that. And I think what's important to add is that, like, Tupac had only been dead like a year, and they were saying that. Like, this is not like it was like 7 years later and they were always reminiscing.
It wasn't like 7
Pac had just died.
Yeah, like Pac would, you know what I'm saying, hadn't even been that long. And they was like, yo, this nigga be the next Pac. This nigga's crazy. I don't know. That is a discussion and a debate for hip hop heads and a whole nother podcast. If what DMX did lyrically and as a musician is comparable to what Pac did. But I'm going to tell you what, man. I was thinking about this, bro. I want to talk about it with you. And I know it's going to lead to other stuff that we was kind of talking about previously, if you could call that a production meeting that we just had. I think X is the most openly vulnerable entertainer black, because then I thought a little bit harder. I said, man, maybe I should say black entertainer with his demons, right or wrong, whatever you want to call them. Some people call them demons, fallacies, or, But looking back on X, like, that's what I remember. Like, I've never seen a man more openly vulnerable, but also openly spiritual and vocal about it. Like, vocal about it. It was on the albums. How many rappers do you know that got skits where they pray on the album to God? Like this man had a close relationship to God while still battling his demons, but was vocal about being vulnerable. The only other person I can think that was openly vulnerable was Mike Tyson.
That's it, brother. I was just about to say that.
In our generation.
That's what I was just about to say. Yep, that's it.
That
I
was
agree.
black.
Yep.
I can't think, and especially now in Tyson's second half, right? Like, if you guys have never listened to Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson, I believe it's on YouTube. I know you can watch the videos on YouTube. The Hot Boxing.
It's on YouTube. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure it's probably like on other, like, wherever you can listen to podcasts or whatever, but like, Mike is such, I don't even want to say woke, because that's like, it's become such a cliche. He is so self-aware. He is so self-aware when you listen to Mike Tyson now. And I'm not saying that he wasn't before, but he was, Mike was an animal before. But I think he was also openly very vulnerable with his life. Mike had a hard life. Like, X had a hard life, yo. Like, X's childhood was fucking rough. Nothing, I don't want to say nothing came easy for X, because I didn't know him personally, but goddamn, bro, like, this you talking about somebody that fought for everything? Even beyond the faults? Because us as a society, like, we like let's just be honest, we like the bullshit. We like the fall. We love the fucking fall. We love the negativity. We love the fall. Like we like to watch greatness, and we also like to watch the rebound. At least at one point, our society liked to watch the rebound before cancel culture came in, and now it's like, you make one mistake, it's over for you forever. But dude, I was listening to some of his music. One, I forgot how many bangers X had. X had a lot of music, bro. X had a hell of a lot of music. And lyrically, yo, dog, X was talking some shit. Bro, X was talking some shit. So it's just, to be gone at 50, I'm 37. That's 13 years away. Like, that's young, man. Like, motherfuckers wanted to debate. Oh, I hated that shit too. I don't know how you felt about it. Like, I you know what? I don't like when somebody passes, immediately people want to go to, like, the negative of their life. What do you think that is? Why do you think that is? Like, in death, like, if you've impacted the world on a grandiose scale, like with popularity, that when you pass away, they go to the negative. They always mention the negative. If not first, they're not letting it slip. or somebody wants to tear down the individual. Like, why do you think that is?
I mean, it's just like the way you open, man. I mean, that's the storyline, right? It's fun to gravitate towards negativity because the average person has so much negativity, and I'm talking about everybody. This is not a box or any specific people. We all have things going on. There's a lot of shit in the media cycle that's negative, and if you're talking about someone that's prominent and they're in the media, so for instance, let's talk about let's just take somebody like Jay-Z. Jay-Z is fairly private, him and Beyonce shit, right? And they work very hard to keep it that way. Right?
Very, yeah.
And so if you're them and you know how big of a celebrity you are, if you let everybody know your life story now, it's gonna be hard to make money off that shit in the end when they 65 and 70. You see what I'm saying? So when if somebody passes away, a lot of times, there's small things, if they got into trouble or legal trouble, there's these small things that that are happening in their life. But as as looking at these people from a fan perspective or just from the general person's perspective, you want to know what it's really like. Like everybody's waiting to know who are fans of Drake. What is it like being Drake? Because you don't know.
True.
Right? You see the videos. True. You see that Drake's another one that's super. But Drake is not out all the time. He's out when he want to be out. He knows how to play the game. So true. If Drake passes away tomorrow, right? It starts off, oh Drake, oh Drake, oh Drake. But now we can leak this shit because, unless the estate comes after us, we can come out here and talk about this shit. Let's talk about how he had this case over here and these things happen. And that's what's interesting because you didn't know before. Again, you watch, they show you all the highlights when the person's alive. That's why you care about it. That's True. The positive shit, and so now you want to know, oh, can it all be so positive? It never is. Nothing can be that positive.
Nothing can be that positive. I remember having this conversation, a similar conversation, and stating that, like, the difference between being a celebrity and being an individual is that your shit is out there. Like when you have a bad day, like it's funny. Like if I have a bad day and I can call you up, I can call my brother up, and I'm like, yo, I went to get the oil change. These motherfuckers charged me $130, this, that, and other. I drive off. Come to find out 2 days later, I hear my engine knocking. There's no fucking oil in the car because they left the plug off or they never put oil in the car. And I went back up there and I lost it. I slapped the one dude up. I did this, I did that. And then I go back, like, I just told my friend the story. Right? I just told you a story, like, all right, whatever. I might get a case because they got my information, but I'm not being sued. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not on a grandiose scale. Now, if I'm Koffe Black, the #1 comic in the country, in the world, oh man, that shit is everywhere. And it stays with you. It never fucking leaves you. But the difference is, it was never going to leave you anyway. The problem is, it's never going to leave anybody else's mind either. It's never going to leave and nobody else's mind either. But here's the kicker though, right? Like, I've always thought that I think you may know the saying. Your head's a little bit clearer than mine. I'm still kind of like on the medication or whatever. But It's like, you never speak ill of the dead. I believe that's the saying, right? You never speak ill of the dead. Like, or it's inappropriate to speak ill of the dead. Like, they're dead. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Something
it's something like that, right? Okay. Remember what happened with Kobe? And Oprah's girl Gail. I don't even know Gail's last name. I just know her as Gail.
Gail King.
Gail King. When she's that interview with that infamous. It's infamous. It's not famous. It's infamous interview with Lisa Leslie, where she's pressing her about. And I mean, fuck, Kobe wasn't even in the grave yet. God damn. Like it's like 2 days after, and they were. This is her good friend. Her and Kobe were great friends, best friends. It was like fair, and you're pressing her on allegations. He was never guilty. We're talking about allegations, and all of a sudden, it was so reckless to me. But let Gail say it was cut and edited different and yada, 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 blah, 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 blah. I am on the other side of things in media, so I do understand how that could happen. But
Yes.
at the same time, motherfucker, you the one that asked the question. You pressed the issue. You chose to ask that question. You didn't have to, but you did. And you got mad because Snoop called you a, a dog-head ass bitch. What Snoop say? What Unc say? Should I call her one, cuz?
Should I call her one? Hey, that shit was hilarious.
Should I call her one?
That was fucked up, but that was hilarious.
Dog-head ass bitch. Like, yo, and for all intents and purposes, to me, she still is a dog-head ass bitch, even though Snoop apologized. The nerve of you, motherfucker. To do that to somebody after they told you twice to leave it alone. We're not going there. I'd rather remember my friend. Don't do that. Don't do that. And motherfuckers excoriate again. Death threats and this, that, and whatever. Or let her say it or let Oprah say it because Gail never said it. Let Oprah say it that she had to hire extra security because motherfuckers wanted to whoop her ass. Kobe was 40. We watched Kobe. I watched Kobe go to prom before I even went to prom.
Yeah.
So you watch these individuals grow up or live their lives unless you can, to a certain degree. I think Jay-Z and Beyonce, which have become royalty, American royalty, Western world royalty. Worldwide royalty at this point. Or our version of royalty, I should say, in the West. How they keep their lives, I think you used the proper word, sparingly private, is incredible. Similar to Denzel. Like Denzel Washington you'll see him at a game here, a game there, a phenomenal actor, phenomenal star, but has been able to keep his life incredibly private. And I wonder, is it a choice?
Yes.
Because there are people that are able to do it that are huge. And they're able to live their lives. They're able to go to the store. They're able to do this. They're able to do that. So I wonder, is it the individual that's playing it up, or is it, or is it something else in which you have no control? Because somehow these individuals have been able to have control over their personal life being separate from the celebrity life that they portray.
Yeah, because it's a business, bro. And everybody has the choice on how they want their business to operate, right? So contingent upon how famous you want to be is how much you have to be in the media. So if you want to be super duper, high level Kardashian type fame, you got to live in Hollywood, right? Why do you need to live in Hollywood? Because that's where the paparazzi is, right? There's paparazzi in New York. There's paparazzi when the last time you've been walking down the street and you bumped into a bunch of paparazzi?
Never. But we are the paparazzi now.
So we are. Yes, we are. But everybody at every given time is not about the flock. If you're in certain places and you're not on the scene,
you're right.
You see what I'm saying? You can go fucking. Kevin Hart can go to a grocery store in his neighborhood because Kevin Hart always goes to the grocery store in his neighborhood, right? Just like Dave Chappelle, he move around his city. It's where you choose to go. So if you live in LA and you playing the I'm on the Steam game and you drive around in your Ferrari cruising at the spots to be at the Nobu where everybody hang out and at this club where everybody hang out, you know where to go. And even if you don't know where to go, your public relations person, your PR person, that's their job. It's to keep you in the media when you want to be at the media. So it's the business of it. So if Denzel still stays in Jersey or wherever, I think they stay over there in the neighborhood. It's a bunch of people that stay there. De Niro, right?
Yeah, De Niro, Mary J, Rock. I think Hove at one point in time was there.
Right, they were over there. So think about it. All right, so now you know where Robert De Niro lives. Robert De Niro's fucking life ain't that interesting every day when he going to the grocery store and hanging out with his grandkids.
True.
Is paparazzi gonna come set up in New Jersey to follow that shit? No. So it depends on the life you. Again, when it's time to promote, so when we drop the special, when we come out and drop the condition, right? You gonna go on tour. So where do you need to be in the media? So again, the marketing team, we got to put the shit in place, and you need to be where you need to be. You may need to go and spend two weeks out in LA, and you can be everywhere in the media. But if you go back to the crib back in the Midwest, you just gonna move around.
I'm just gonna move around.
You're just gonna move around. So yeah, I say it's a choice because it's a business. Again, the average person ain't bumping into paparazzi that are actually asking the questions that make the news cycles and all of that shit. Right? Yeah, there's people that want to take pictures. I mean, that's gonna be what it is, but it's not gonna be a fucking mayhem. You know, that again, unless you the biggest fucking Michael Jackson or somebody like that. But his reclusiveness created that shit.
It's fascinating.
It's fascinating.
That shit is so fascinating. I'm on the side of things. I think about my life like that. You know, like I was like, we got a buddy backwards. Backwards says, "Yo, man, you know they gonna come
shout out to OG Backwards.
Shout out OG Backwards. Backwards say, you know they gonna come for you. They come for everybody. You know they gonna come for you. Somebody from your past will come for you." I said, man, listen, I already know. That's why I got to get in and get it and get out. I got to get in, get implemented the proper way, and get out. And this is not me like years later. It's like, oh, he said he had done something. Everybody. Nobody's clean. Nobody's clean. I don't know nobody that's clean.
So
right?
Exactly. So think of it this way then, right? You create your own target. The more you in the media and the more positive shit that you want to show me, I'm now waiting on something negative to come from you. So yeah, I'm searching for this shit. But if I ain't on the radar and you ain't on the radar at all, right? Other than when you have to be promoting what you have to be, but you're not. So being on promotional tour, everybody understand that. But then when they flick on your gram page and they see Koffe Black flexing, talking about I'm in the Ferrari right now, right? And the only shit you showing, oh, I got like three chicks in the back. Oh, I'm going to cash a check. I just did the stand up. All right. So now they looking for some negative shit on. But if you just go about your life, you don't see Denzel on the gram doing no shit. All these people you name doing no shit like that.
Doing dumbass shit.
Doing dumb shit. So it's like, again, if you come out and you live your relationship out with your girl or your dude on social media, playing the shit up like it's perfect, well then if something happened, yeah, it's a big deal because you created controversy.
Right.
So they want to see the negative shit.
They want to. It's something about it. It's something about it. And sometimes you can bounce back, and sometimes, man, it's like that. I know it definitely wasn't on Calling Audibles, but it was probably on Truth About Lies. I know I've referenced Finding Forrester with God rest his soul, Sean Connery. God damn, we lost James Bond. We lost Sean Connery.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But in the movie where he tells the young kid Jamal, I can't think of the actor's real name, but he tells the young kid Jamal, he says, "You've been blessed with an incredible gift at an incredible age. He's like, you're 15. He's like, as long as you don't screw it up by being young, you're going to live an incredible life. Well, fuck, he's young. It's a good chance he's going to do something stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
how many young people do you know not do nothing dumb at least once? The problem with life is sometimes that could be the last dumbass thing that you ever do. You don't know how it's going to shake for you. I often think about, it might be morbid, it might be dark, this conversation, but I often think about, man, well, how the fuck am I going to go? Because, goddamn, like they say, like, well, I'm a preacher's kid. My pops is a pastor. Nigga, you know your birthday. Think about all the information they had you memorize. You know your birthday, your social security number, right? When you start out as a child, it's your birthday, your phone number. This is how it was in the 90s and 80s, right? Maybe 70s. But it was your birthday, your phone, your house number. This is when you had a house phone. Some of y'all don't even understand what we're saying right now. You had a house phone, and then if you were a teenager in the 90s and you was real cool, you had your own phone line. Y'all don't even understand what that means. Yo, bro, did you have your own phone line?
That's right. And then, no, I never had my own phone line, but I did have a pager.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about. I had a pager, though.
You had a pager?
I had a I had a pager.
But you ain't had your own phone line?
But I had my own phone. I didn't want my own phone.
I understand what we mean by phone line. Now we got to take this on. We don't know how old and how young, you know what I'm saying, some of our demographic is just yet. Yo, if you under the age of 30, you might not understand what we're talking about by your own phone line. It was a hard line. Everybody had a house phone. Like the majority of people now in their homes don't even have a house phone, right? But like, it was a house phone. And then if you was cool enough, your parents paid for you to have your own phone in your room, your own phone line. Like, that is a mark of social stature from the 90s, if you had your own phone line. And my man he sent it up a notch. Yo, your own pager. At what, 15, 16?
Damn. Probably about 15, 16. Matter of fact, shout out. You remember Dave down in Texas? In Texas?
Oh, yeah,
hey,
he pulled in Texas, yeah.
He pulled up on me. He pulled up on me last Friday. Him and his wife was passing through, man. I caught up with him.
Oh, that's what's up.
I thought about him because me and him, I think he may have had the phone line, and then I had the pager. That's when I was running with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think like 16, 17. But so the pager, man, you out moving around. That's when you had payphones. And so if you out moving around trying to take care of the activity you need to take care of, you just find a payphone, throw a quarter. Then it went up to 35 cents, right?
Right.
Then what?
Right.
Did it end at 50 cents?
It ended at 50 cents and
something like that.
And it got up once it went to 35, it got up to 50, and that 50 it ended at $1. But by that time, when it became $1, they were already pulling them off the street.
Oh, but you know what was in between that? 1-800-COLLECT also. When it was really tight.
Oh man. Man, 10-10-220, 1-800. Yo, and it was like another 10-10-2 something. And I know y'all don't understand none of this, but listen, we're older now, and these are numbers that we know and we remember. There's certain dates that you know, and you learn and you remember. You know what I'm saying? The 4th of July, 19, whatever. 9/11. You learn all these dates, but there's one date you never learn, and that's the day you check out this motherfucker. You can memorize as much shit as you want to. Just had to pause a little bit. I'm recording in the car with somebody with a muffler, man. You know how it go.
It's all good.
Hey, this shit is real. This shit is real.
Oh, yeah, it's real. It's always.
This podcast always been real. Y'all know that. Y'all know how we get down. But, dog, think about it. It's the one date you'll never know. But everybody else will. But you won't. It's the one date you don't fucking know. And it's a question that's been asked by some people when they want to go that deep. If you could know, would you want to know? You would live your life completely different if you did. You would do everything you wanted to do if you did. Honestly, quite honestly.
Absolutely.
And you wouldn't take on burdens. I'm gonna be vulnerable right now on air. And my man's is probably like, oh shit, what the fuck is this nigga finna say?
Hey, I'm prepared for everything. I already know how I go down here.
But my man's hit me with, we were talking, I've been through a lot. I don't ever think we've ever even dived as deep into the past several years of my life and what I've been through, adversity wise. Not at least not for our viewers, or you know what I'm saying? You know, our fans and shit are just like openly vulnerable. Like we were talking about, like how X and Tyson was like openly vulnerable. Like I've never been that openly vulnerable. I've been vulnerable on stage, but just not on our podcast. Let me say that.
Yeah, 100%.
Which at this point kind of sounds kind of like bullshit. You were vulnerable on other people's podcasts, but not your own. Like, what was that? What was that about? I'm a giver. I like the place. But you said something that was so profound. Well, you said a lot of things that are profound. But
thank you, sir.
But you mentioned about carrying the burden. I have a hero complex. I do. You don't know what it is, look it up. All right, we ain't got that much time to go into that. We'll say that for the part 2. Or maybe we do, and right. I don't know. I just can't explain it. And basically, I can't help saving people. I think of me as a black John McClane. I do it because there's nobody else there to do it. If somebody else was there to do it, I let them do it. But I goddamn do it because I know I can take care of it. Or I just want to fucking save people. I don't know if it's because I want to be a hero. I don't even think it's because I want to be a hero, because half the time I don't want to do the shit, but I feel the burden of having to do the shit. And so we're talking about burdens. And you said you can carry the burden of the cross like Jesus did and do all the miracles that he did and pull off miracles and save as many people as you want, and people still not believe. Now, I don't know if it's because that I had smoked a pre-roll hybrid at 26% THC and like 10% CBD that made that sound so profound and resonate with me. But that shit really hit me because that's 100% true. And you don't even have to be religious or spiritual to read the Bible. You can just read the fucking Bible. It's kind of weird that I used profanity in the Bible in the same sentence, but you know, whatever.
Hey, the Bible has a little profanity in there also, so sorry.
Okay then, well fuck it. Fuck it.
A little bit.
But That resonated with me so much. Like, a lot of us out here carry burdens for other motherfuckers. Like, we carry other people's burdens as if they're ours, and they have nothing to do with us. But because we love them, or because we care about them, and they're not even like our kids, they're your friends, they're associates, they can be somebody, distant, but we carry the burden of their pain or their struggle or strife, and feel as if we have to help, or it sits on our chest like an elephant and creates the anxiety and eventually depression and all of that. Like, we carry the burden, and we come out here and we get the job done and we help them out, or we perform a miracle. Like, there's no way in the world I would ever thought I would have got out of this without you. Thank you so much. You're my hero. Oh, I can't believe this. Like, man, you came through in the clutch. Man, yo, this is amazing. Woo, 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 this, that, and other. And then you say, no good deed goes unpunished. I've heard that saying my whole life, and I never really saw it for what it was until that conversation in that meeting we were having.
Yeah.
No good deed goes unpunished. Like Chappelle said, never, ever want to be the hero, because heroes die uncomfortable deaths. It's true. There's never been a time, when you said that to me, I had to think, there's never been a time where I performed a good deed and somehow I didn't pay a price. I paid some form of currency, whether it be physical exertion, internal, metaphysical fatigue, actual currency, dollars, monetary value. You paid a price, and it was a punishment. It was a hefty price to pay for the deed, for the good deed. Fuck the bad deed, the good deed, which is really weird because we incarcerate people and we tell them, oh, you're getting ready to do some time. Like, that's the price they pay. You're getting ready to do time, doing time. You're locked down. We're cutting you off from society for doing the bad deed. While also good deeds also go punished. So you got to go. It doesn't matter. You're going to pay a price every fucking time. Every time you pay a price. I've paid a hefty price for good deeds. Hell, I paid a hefty price for bad deeds. It's like that analogy you use. I'll let you, where you like being under center, being the quarterback and seeing the field as opposed to being the offensive coordinator. I'll let you, you navigate that sports analogy so well. Like,
well, thank you. Thank you, sir. I appreciate the setup. That's very nice. Very nice.
Like, I didn't know.
No, for sure. No, 100%. Yeah, no. So
you navigated so well.
Okay, this is calling audibles because we're in the sports references. For those listeners who do get into that, but when I'm giving presentations and talking to these new business owners and people in the community, I often use that analogy, right? And so I'll just refer to what Black and I were talking about. And we're just talking about trying to make decisions as the quarterback, right? And so as a quarterback, you are the quarterback of your life, right? And so every day You come out, you wake up, you brush your teeth, you do all that shit, and just imagine coming out of the locker room, all right, and your ass walk down the tunnel, and next thing you know, your ass is on the field, and there's people in the stands, and is you have some teammates of some sort, and then you have some opposition of some sort. So as you think of those, who are those teammates? If you marry, those are the people. These are your allies in your house, your extended family, all of these people. All right. Some of these people on your team, on your offensive line, are your friends. These are people that you hang out with for whatever reason. Some are your professional connections, or some are at work. This is your team. You have to deal. You got to work with these motherfuckers every day. This is who you have to work with. And so you got to make sure you're on the same page and you guys get rapport and get repetition and all of these things. So you guys are moving fluid. Meanwhile, you got opposition, right? That's everybody that's opposing what you are trying to accomplish in your life. Again, these are made up of some of the same people, friends and now former friends, former coworkers that you really may not trust, and you know their ass is really on the other side, right? All of these different people. So you're on the field now, right? And you're zoned in, and the only way you can be a part of this and deliver is because you have to be in the action. But there's a coach on the sideline, and then up in the box, you have your coordinators, right? Your coordinators are in the what do you call them? The boxes in the stadium at the count, usually pretty much at the top of the stadium or yes. Pretty close to it. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so they're watching the game. They have the monitors, but they're watching the whole field, and they're watching formations like a general in the army that's figuring out how they're going to attack. So they're watching all this. And so all this is being communicated back and forth. So the quarterback is going to be on the field and can see some things, you know, some up close and personal things, some telltale signs, all of these things from on the field. But that quarterback is going to be limited compared to what that coordinator is saying. So now the coordinator can see the whole picture. So you can kind of see the whole picture, but you can only see it from your perspective. But I can see your perspective and everybody else's perspective. So sometimes, you know, you can only play the game for so long as a quarterback, right? You start getting in the mid-30s, you know, and this we're talking real in real football. You know, most quarterbacks, right. If you can get that far, it's time to step down. Well, where's the best place to step down to? Now, if you go and work with your team on the sidelines or go up in the box, now you got a whole different vantage point. Yeah. You get to see all of these things. You get to see all of the plays and what they look like from a 30,000-foot view. And so you can really take time and there's no pressure on you, right? The quarterback is making decision, and every 30, 45 seconds or so, the ball is snapped and they're put under pressure, right? Because somebody, one of your opponents is coming trying to tackle your ass and fuck up your day. All right. And sometimes, just like in real football, you catch everybody and you're paying attention, but somebody slips through your offensive line and you get sacked. All right. You get hit. Sometimes you get taken out the game. That's these miscellaneous things. All these things happen. So, you know, there comes a point in time when, in order to make progress, you may not be able to lead the team and win Super Bowls on the field. You may have to go up to it and move up to the skybox. And so you can better coordinate your life. And then sometimes, and more often than not, I know in my case, you go back and forth. Right, because sometimes I got to come out the box and get in the game and play my game. What I have to do, but I'm also able to look at it. You got to do the pass, right? I got to do both, right? You got to be ambidextrous, right? You got to be dual, as my man said.
You got to be dual. Oh my God, that was such a great story. You got to be dual.
You got to be dual.
Yeah, but you got to be ambidextrous. You got to be metaphysically ambidextrous. I got to. Like you said, I got to be able to come out, box, I see it. All right, now I sound, you know what? Oh, okay, so I got to do this shit. Sometimes you gonna have to get in the goddamn game and do the shit because can't nobody else do it but you.
Right.
The problem is, for me, again, Koffe still being vulnerable in this portion of the podcast, is the problem for me is I always feel as if I got to be the one to do it. Like it's a burden of I got to be the one to do it. Like, I have to do this. I can see up top. I got. It's almost like how they used to talk about how Peyton Manning was. He was like a coach on the field. Like this motherfucker saw every goddamn thing on the field. Peyton saw every fucking thing on the field. Everything. He knew so much. His preparation was impeccable, right? And then he had to hike the ball and still goddamn execute. Sometimes you could be upstairs and you could call out the shot, but then you got to sit back and you can't do nothing but watch the shit play out. And when you on the field, you the motherfucker that's making sure the shit play out the way that it's supposed to play out. But you still only got one job because you can't throw the ball and catch. So let's bring it all the way full circle with life. Sometimes life is going to put you in positions in which you can't save your friend. You can't save your child. You got to coach them through it and sit back and watch it unfold. And hopefully they execute it the right way that works out for them. But it might be a financial blitz coming. It might be a social coverage coming, abuse coming, this coming, that coming. All life's pitfalls coming. It's like golf, man. Hey, I ain't never seen a golf course without a bunker on it. Now, I don't know. I could be wrong. Now.
Oh no, they there.
You golf more than me. Let's keep it 100. Let's keep it 100. You do golf more than me. Especially right now due to my back, what's going on. But hey, physically, I know I'm gonna bounce back, and I can't wait to be on the course swinging. You know what I'm saying? With you stronger and better than ever.
Yeah.
But it's a bunker on every golf course. From what I know, I don't believe there's no golf course in the world without a bunker on.
Well, yeah, no, a bunker is part of the game. So with golf, somebody took the time and worked with their team, and they designed this golf course. Because the game of golf, there's a physical portion to it. It's not as physical as most people think. We saw Tiger Woods because they showed him when he got super strong blasting it. But golf is physical, but is not in that aspect. Again, you're swinging and making contact, so your body is going through minor wear and tear. But it's more so about you being loose and staying loose no matter what's happening or where your ball goes. You got to stay mentally flexible and loose, and you got to stay physically flexible and loose. So if your muscles tighten up during the swing, that's how you chop the ball and all these other things go wrong. You have to stay as loose as possible. And your body, because it's just like in life, we want to be in control, right? And so as you're swinging, your mind, you feel good, and it starts off, and you'll get about halfway through the swing, when you're first learning. And even after you're a professional, you see professionals having a bad day. Once you lose your confidence in your swing and you doubt it and your body tenses up, whether it's just your hands, your forearms, that shit throws your swing off. But if you can stay loose and line up perfectly and just let that shit swing like you swing in an axe, right? It's just like in life, you got to have faith that you did everything right and the ball is going to connect. But you got to do this while, as Koffe Black is saying, you got water hazards, right? Which means the lakes that you see on the golf course. They're not just there because it looks pretty. They're designed to be a part of the course where if you don't hit the ball accurate, your shit's going in the water. All right, the trees are in the way. So if you hit your ball where most golfers are going to hit the ball, instead of hitting it straight down, now you have an obstruction in your way. That was somebody sat there and thought this out and carved this out and picked the tree that went there. And now you go to the bunkers, the sand pits. That's the big pits of sand that you see sometimes if you watch, even if you don't watch golf, if you've seen it on ESPN, you'll see a golfer trying to hit the ball out of the sand pit or the bunker. Right. And so their put is like you're playing capture the flag, right? So you start off at one end of the green, or one end of the fairway, and then you make your way down. And these bunkers are actually guarding the flag. So if you hit your ball short of where you need to get on the green, your ball falls in the sand, right? And so it's a pain in the ass now because you got to, how thick is the sand? Is it loose where I can hit it? Has it formed? All these things come into play. What you learn as a golfer is it's great if you can avoid those challenges to get to the flag, but you're going to get in those bunkers as Koffe Black is alluding. Eventually, you're going to hit one. And so if you learn how to be efficient getting out of there, that just becomes part of your game, and you can still be a championship or a good golfer, to whatever level you're playing. And right. I say that because you connect that to life. It's the same thing. The challenges are going to come. The bunkers are going to be there. The fucking trees are going to be there.
Up.
It's set up. Yes. Yes. 100%.
Set it.
Yeah.
And now you can sit here and you can take time and waste time trying to figure out who set the shit up. You know what I mean? Like, you could be a golfer and be like, who's the bitch ass motherfucker that made this course?
Right.
Whoop his ass
right.
when I find out who made this course because, you know, I lost in the Open. Whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you could do that. You can waste time doing that.
Right.
Or you can say to yourself, shit, on Monday, I'm hitting 1,000 balls out of this goddamn bunker.
Yep.
I'm doing 1,000 balls. So when it's live action, when the lights are the brightest, now you on the course. Oh man, your forearm got tight. Oh, I'm in the bunker. Oh, okay. Hey man, let me get that sand wedge. Where we at? We still 50 away? All right, watch this. I'm coming out of there. And I'm dropping it 6 feet from the hole.
Boom.
I can still save and make birdie or par, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's going to be some financial bunkers in life. It's going to be some social trees in life. You're going to get in the rough socially. You're going to have your heart broken. You're going to be upset. There's mental obstacles in life. And you got to try to swing through them shits. Sometimes you got to try to swing around that shit with like, and then golf is, you got a slice shot where you slice it and it curves and this, that, and that. You got all these tools in the bag. You got all these different clubs you can use though in life. Education, intelligence, resources. All these are different clubs you can use for your swing. But it's choosing the right club at the right time. It's choosing the right principle. It's choosing the right moral to have at that specific time in life. It might be something as deep as a life or death situation. Damn. How am I going to move? It might be a confrontation. I can de-escalate it, or I can escalate. Now, can I handle myself with the escalation? Or am I going to fall? You're not going to win them all. I don't know a golfer that's undefeated.
It'll never happen.
And then is another thing. You stay in any game long enough. You do anything long enough, you're going to get an L. So even if you on an incredible ride, like my man, was the boxer Costa Zoo, I think his name was.
Yeah.
And Floyd and a few others that got out the game. They went undefeated and got out the game. You can do that. And you can get out the game. Or you can stay around long enough and catch a hard L. But yet and so, for 50 fights, Floyd has somebody coming in the ring trying to knock his head off. For 50 fights.
It's a lot of fights.
And he made a lot of money doing that in the pain business. And he had to train. So he had sparring partners trying to knock his head off in training for the real fight. He had to make in-ring adjustments to fighters that saw him fight previously to try to deal with it. We got a friend that sparred with him. Our man's Jermaine. Shout out, Maine. You remember Jermaine? Him and Francois and all them? They were boxers. Jermaine said, yo, I sparred with Floyd before. That shit is no joke. It's damn near impossible to hit this motherfucker because his sideways stance was so unorthodox. Like the intelligence within the ring within the arena. It goes that now. Let's take it and go a step further. It goes back to Teddy Roosevelt's speech, the man in the arena, right? Like you could be the motherfucker on the sideline talking shit, or you could be the motherfucker on the court. It all depends on how you choose to live your life. But when you're on the court, or when you're on the course, or when you're on the field, you're playing a particular position. You have a specific role. Even singularly, with tennis, golf, and swimming, track and field. You control. You're in control. You're in the driver's seat. But there's obstacles along the way. There's hairpin turns that you got to be ready for. And you got to be ready to handle. And the kicker with life is sometimes it throw you some shit that you never could have been prepared for. And you still got to go through it. And whether you handle it in a positive way or a negative way, you're not coming out unscathed. But it's the perseverance you got to have to understand that these things are going to happen and you're not going to come out unscathed, but you still got to keep on going. You still got to keep on going.
It don't stop.
It never stops. Every day your heart beats is a beautiful thing. Every day you can wake up with some sort of fully functional consciousness in your mind is a beautiful thing, because it could be gone just like that. And it's life is hard, yo. Like as the more and more you become an adult, life is hard, but it's also the circumstances that you allow yourself to be in. Life is going to be hard regardless of where you at. But you can lighten the load. You can lighten the burden by just making a decision of, should I be in this area, this location, this environment? Am I stuck to this environment, or can I leave this environment and go somewhere else and see if I can thrive in a new environment?
Right. It's like the Gotham syndrome. You know, I always talk about that. You watch Batman, or you in Gotham. All of this fucked up shit is happening in Gotham. Gotham is not the world. Gotham is a city. If all this shit is going on and you don't want to be a part of the shit with all these people running around, move the fuck out of Gotham.
Yo, if you're a drug dealer, why deal with Batman? Yo,
right?
man,
why deal with Batman?
like why man? There's no way in hell I'm gonna sit here. Like it was so crazy to me, dog. Like you were absolutely right. That Gotham syndrome. Yeah, let's just go ahead and post up. You got to be the dumbest criminals in the world. This motherfucker's taking down people left and right. You just gonna post up and chill and take him on? Or you could just go somewhere else where ain't nobody else doing it and be a kingpin? Why would you stay there? It's asinine. And it's legitimately asinine. It's the same thing with Superman. And this bitch ass motherfucker Superman was fighting crime all over the world. It's saving people. And they had a code. Come on, man. I think all we're trying to say, or I'm not even going to say what I'm trying to say is you get a finite time on Earth. And every day we see examples of it. Every year, every month we see examples of it. You can choose to be in despair and be a rough rider, or you can choose to lighten your load and walk a different path from a different angle and play the game a different way. And after a particular point in time, you really you still got that choice, but you're just endangering yourself to be able to not do anything at all. So you got to make the adjustment at the time to make the adjustment. And life will always let you know the time to make the adjustment. It's on you to decide whether or not to ignore it or not. And a lot of times I think it's people, we ignore the signs. We ignore the signs in relationships. We ignore the signs. Fuck it, I'm going to stop right there. That's one of the biggest spots where people ignore signs is in interpersonal relationships. Would you agree? Or is there another construct?
No, listen. No, I like that construct. I'm with that. And I don't think it's just first. I think it's in relationships in general. Right? I sit down, I talk business every day. We make all sorts of deals. I watch people get into bad business deals all the time. Right? Because they override. There's signs there. And they, fuck it. I'm going to override. I'm going to do it my way. And the shit doesn't work out. Definitely in person. And in that case, a lot of times finances are the motivation. If you want to bring it to the personal relationship, there's different motivations for that, right? Sometimes it's security. It may be financial security. It may somebody just be, a person that needs companionship. So they're looking for somebody to cling on, right? And so all these signs are put in front of us all the time, and we have all these choices to make, and it's hard, as Black has been saying. It's hard as fuck to make all these decisions the right way every day, or I should say the best way that you think you can at that time. And so every time you quit on a decision and say, I'm going to let that shit play out, well, then you leave it to the mercy of what's going to happen. And that's part of it. But it's hard as hell to make great decisions all the time. But as you were saying, if you look and say, well, I want to do something different, well, you gotta frame your life a little bit differently and be willing to go in a place you haven't been before. Because you can't make progress without being uncomfortable. Because if you've been there before, right, are you really making progress? It's always uncomfortable. You want to build a new. A lot of people say, I want to get rich and I want to go buy me an island and I'm gonna set up shop on the island. Well, what does that really entail? You go out and you say, I'm buying an island. If it's just an island, it's an empty landmass. All right. So you got to decide, all right, I got this island. So is there going to be plumbing on the island? Who has to put that plumbing down? How you going to get electricity out there? How you going to stock up on your food?
The infrastructure.
Right. So, again, it's good. So saying I want the island, that's great. But it's even if you can pay somebody to do this shit, it's great. But it's a process to do all of this shit.
It's always going to be a process.
Always a process. And so the difference between people that you see achieve, I don't want to say success, I'll just say achieve whatever their goals are. In most projects, there comes a point where you ask yourself, why the fuck did I sign up for this? Right? You and I can relate, right? If you're going to get on stage to speak, bro, right before the shit, you're like, why the fuck did I decide to come here and say I would talk to all these fucking people? I don't have to do this shit. All right. And so now you got to go through this whole anxiety thing as you prepare. And so some people, the anxiety builds up so much, they shy away and they don't even break the fucking leg and go out onto the stage and they never even fulfill, whatever it was they were setting out to. The only difference is the other people feel the exact same shit. You get the butterflies or whatever it is. Whenever it's a big moment, it could be a big business deal, big show, big whatever it is in your life. And they push through that shit. And they push through that shit every time. Because it's hard as fuck every day. Just because you perform in front of 1,000 people, it don't make it that much easier the next time.
Man, yo. It's like sex.
You got to perform every time.
Listen, whether you're having sex with the same person every time or somebody different every time you have sex, the pressure of having a performance of a grandioso scale It's pressure every time. Now, some people don't give a fuck. Hats off to them. But for the motherfuckers that's trying to keep their goddamn credit score high, it's pressure every goddamn time. And dude, the one time you can come out here and be great at sex a million times with one individual. Like mind-blowing sex. And fuck up one time. And that one time you fuck up, the other million don't even matter. Because you can't fuck up again. Right? Like, all right, oh, you had a bad night. All right, cool, fuck it. Come Thursday, it's time to make time, as I used to say back in the day. I gotta make a little time with the wife tonight. Hey, babe, we haven't made time in a while, which basically was code for sex. That was the lexicon back in the day. And then you fuck up again? But here come the questions. What's going on with you? What's wrong? Was it like the other? Like you can't be off after you've been great. Now we've talked about this before about being great, right? Like if you're great one time, somebody will always pay for you to be great again. Like you'll always get another opportunity to be able to recycle that moment, the initial moment of greatness. But what we haven't said is, because you've been great that one time, you can't drop. Man, Jordan to have a game with Jordan to put up 24 points and motherfuckers be like, that was a pedestrian night. But for other people, 24 points, 7 rebounds, and 8 assists was a hell of a night. They had a good night in the game. Dude. But when you're Jordan, motherfuckers want you, and you put up 63 in a loss to the Celtics. Was it 63? I think it was 63. Was it 63?
63.
It was 63. And a loss, and you got Larry Bird talking about I watch Jesus in gym shoes. Guess what? Hey, in game 4, if you put up 63, god damn it, you could at least put up 40. You got to be great all the time. The burden of being great all the time is, here's the thing. We've all felt it before. It's a facade. It's fake. There's no way it can be done. There's no way it can be done. Like like when Jay-Z had that line, men lie, women lie, numbers don't. Let me tell you something. Sometimes them goddamn numbers can lie. It depends on how you looking at it. If you fuse in what we said earlier, it depends on how you looking at it. Them numbers can lie. You ever seen the motherfucker? He was like, he had 21 points in a loss. It was like, goddamn, nigga didn't have a bad game. The nigga had 21, but he was 3 of 17.
Yeah.
And the rest of them points came from the free throw line.
Yeah.
Well, you had a bad shooting night. You had 21 points. Yeah, you were good from the stripe, but you had a bad shooting night. Nigga, you missed 15 shots. Or you missed 20-something shots.
Right.
Like, you had a bad night. Like, that was a bad night. You know what I mean? Like, there's no way around it. So sometimes the numbers might not necessarily lie, but they can be skewed to a degree.
Yeah.
They're not showing the total picture.
Right. And so, it's up to the individual to define. So if, as you were talking about Mike, well, if you want to be Mike and want to be the like Mike commercial and fucking Gatorade and fucking McDonald's with Larry Bird and fucking Nike got you on fucking billion-dollar marketing campaigns around the world. Right. Well, yeah, you Superman now. That's the picture they painted. I don't give a fuck if you got the flu, nigga. You better come out here and put up 45.
Yep.
You Superman. That's what the marketing tells me. So if you want to be Superman in the corporate world, in music world, whatever you're in the hair world, whatever your industry is, well, then you got to sacrifice and do what it takes to be on the top. All right. You want to be take a pop Ariana Grande. Well, then you got to be able to live and sacrifice and do the thing Ariana Grande does. Not just sing on the songs and do the shit when it's fly because she on the Grammys performing. It's a whole lot of other shit that's happening behind the camera for her to maintain that status. Or to be fucking Obama, or to be whoever, whatever your person is that you're looking at, a CEO, or again, top stylist, whatever it is you aiming for. It sounds good to say I want to be like that person. Well, then you start getting to that level. People, they talk about their life. Well, this is what I do. They'll give you the blueprint. Whoever you think you want to be like, is 9 out of 10 times there's enough information for you to look at their story and look at what they do. Right. And so again, you'll see the highlights, right? That's the real. That's what gets you in the awards and, they on vacation and all this other bullshit. That's one part of it. That's the part they're showing you. That's the media campaign to keep you engaged. But where's the work? All right. You don't want to show the work because you need to look like it's effortless. All right. You don't want to see Ariana Grande getting up, having to warm her voice up and drinking fucking tea with her hair wrapped up. That shit ain't. That's not the magic. That doesn't create the aura. All right, you got to make that shit look easy. All right, Black. They don't want to see you sitting back writing and putting jokes together and coming up with. They want to see your ass come out there with a cigarette and do it.
Dude. Let me tell you something. I don't want the labor pains. I just want the baby. That's what these motherfuckers want. They just want the baby. They don't want none of that shit. They see the lifestyle, they see the cars, they see all that. They don't see the grind through it. Motherfuckers got shit they don't even live in. Got cars they don't even drive. How can I? I'm out entertaining or doing work 365. I'm moving around the globe. I'm moving around the world. I'm moving around the country. I've got shit to do. I got places to be. I have to go to people. Until you make it to a certain limit, and then they're coming to you. And even when you're coming to you, you still got to go to them. There has to be a give and take. And within all of that, you still want to have some sense of societal normalcy. A family, kids, something to leave behind. Some people, excuse me, not everybody, but some people. You want to have some sort of normalcy. There's nothing normal about that. Watch this. There's nothing normal about growing up in the hood, y'all. And we spoke about this early. And I'm bringing it all the way back up because I think they needed to hear it, how we was kicking it up.
Yeah.
Growing up in the inner city, I don't think there's anybody that doesn't have PTSD. But they've normalized life in a urban, low poverty, high crime area or city in which it's, oh man, such got his head blown off. You know what I'm saying? Over there on 38. Oh, well, Tony T, this, that, another. Shorty got raped over here. Oh man, the little kid was getting molested over here. Everybody's done experienced something, whether they're willing to admit it or not. But growing up in the hood, ain't no way in hell you ain't got no PTSD. And a few people may be able to change their mentality, like we said, we talked earlier, and see a different way and get lucky and finally, slip through the cracks and rise out of that environment by making a proper choice. But to be in the hood, to be in a low poverty community and stay there based on them circumstances, you're going to continually deal with that shit. And it is a different world for a 10-year-old growing up on the west side or south side or east side of the Chi, as opposed to a 10-year-old growing up in Greenwich, Connecticut.
It's just different. You're not seeing what. That's why they be like, man, yo, these motherfuckers that make it in sports and shit from Liberty City and Chicago and NY or Watts or this, that, and other, or Little Rock, Milwaukee, you name out of every hood from wherever. It's like, yo, but when you watch them, it's a different kind of grit. It's a different kind of toughness. Like, damn, this is some different shit. They don't want to go back. That shit is easy for them. You ain't seen what they seen. I remember Mike Vick telling this story about the first time after when he was being touted to be drafted by Arthur, the owner of the Falcons. Oh man, I can't think his name is Arthur. I forget his last name. And he says they go to a steakhouse, right? This nigga Mike Vick grew up in Newport News, Virginia. He ain't never been in no steakhouse. He ain't never been nowhere where he seen the prices he's in. So he gonna order some shit that he can afford. So this nigga's in the steakhouse and he orders some chicken fingers, bro. Come on, man.
Yeah, that's how it is.
With ranch.
Right? Bro.
I think his name is Arthur. I want to say Blank or something like that. But Arthur looks at him like, yo, like, you can eat whatever you want to eat. And he like, I've never even seen half this stuff on the menu. His whole world had changed just that quick.
At a restaurant.
Like he couldn't anticipate that he was gonna be actually even eating in different spots. It's like that saying, man, you gonna get everything you want. Do you want everything you gonna get?
That's right.
That shit is crazy. Now you making decisions you never even dreamed of. You couldn't foresee because it was never in your preview to see. You couldn't acknowledge it. You had no knowledge of its existence. Sometimes that's exactly how life is. It will hit you with some shit you had. Wait, what? What are you talking about? And they looking at you like you should know, and you don't. And you got to find a way to swing, shoot, run, punch your way through that shit. You got to find a way. And even after you do it, you gonna know whether you did it the right way or the wrong way. But guess what? It's another one coming again. There's nobody in this world that lives a life without obstacles. There's no good story in this world that's ever been told without adversity. How do you have a superhero movie without a villain? You gotta have adversity. You need that shit. But on the backside, as my man has told me a million times now, you do have a say-so on the adversity that you deal with. And that's an audible for your ass. Because a lot of times, the majority of us don't even see that. We don't even recognize the fact that we can actually change the adversity that we have to deal with. In a macro perspective, I believe.
Absolutely. Again, yeah, no doubt. Again, you ask for something and you say you
that
want.
shit in itself is Man,
You got to work, right? Asking
it
for it
takes
is
a little
only.
bit of time, man. It takes a little bit of time. That's why with age comes wisdom comes with age for real. You can be wise. I think you be wise young, but goddamn, man, when you get older,
Right.
you really start seeing shit for what it is. And I don't think you can do that without the age. I had an aged steak the other night. I'm gonna tell you what, it was amazing. I got to figure out how to age my beef now. Pause. This is New York radio now.
Oh man.
All right, we back. Technical issues over with. You know, sometimes that shit happens. Man. Again, hey, it was a hurdle.
It's like that.
It was a
We
bump.
we didn't shut down the show and say, oh fuck it. We had a
Yeah,
technical
we ain't shut
issue.
down the show and say, "Oh fuck, we ain't gonna put the whole show out now. We gonna kick y'all with this science."
That's all we can do.
You know, keep on saying. I don't know, man. I don't even know why the show went that way today, but it did. I think it had to.
I think so.
Man, dude. I've just missed rocking.
Yeah.
I've missed rocking. It's been a minute.
So let's talk a little bit. Like you said at the beginning, we got some things happening. So we had we don't get out too much, but yeah, the Koffe Black Conditioned is coming.
Koffe Black Conditioned is coming.
And matter of fact, I guess that can be the next show. We can talk about that shit.
We can talk about it, yeah. That shit was wild. So Koffe Black Conditioned is coming. We'll have apparel and all kind of shit. Condition, baby.
For some reason, we decided to shoot 4 shows in a 72-hour period in COVID.
4 shows in 72-hour period in 2 cities in COVID.
In COVID, this was like in end of 2020. So we shot in Las Vegas.
At the end of 2020.
Right.
Las Vegas and Phoenix. My God. Jesus Christ.
So we got that shit going.
Yeah, we got that going.
We got the Cigarettes and Bad Decisions course is coming.
Yes.
So we got a course. All 3 of us, myself, Hollow Tip, Koffe Black, came together. We're putting together it's a motivational course, kind of supplemental to the Cigarettes and Bad Decisions book.
Yes.
That's going to be the textbook for the course. We actually got that. We're just working out the last few kinks, and we'll have some more info on that.
My God, what other projects? A lot of projects, books. We're not through giving you guys our opinions on life and our creative spins on storytelling capabilities, in which I don't think we've done a lot of on calling audibles, simply because we haven't done a lot of calling audibles and we're still finding our legs and our grooves. But like, our storytelling capability is amazing. I think so. I think we've lived an interesting life, and we've came across a lot of interesting shit, and we got like dope ass stories, but we also can tell a great story. Yeah. You know, like some people, they just know how to tell a story. Like just the incredible way of putting you right there while they were there. Yeah, because some people, they'll give you a story and they'll be like, you had to be there because it falls flat. And then you got some people that are just damn near savants at doing it. It is so amazing. And we're really well at it. We are really good at telling stories. We got to start doing that a little bit more on the show.
So here's a commitment. Here's a commitment. So we got a lot of shit that's going on project wise. Black, as he's been likely mentioned, is recovering from some back surgery that he had to get. So it's a little bit of recovery time. So, Black, if you down, this is season 2. This is gonna be season 2, episode 1. Let's commit for the next 15 weeks, every week.
Okay.
Right. Every week.
Yeah.
Let's do that, and then that'll end off season 2, and then we'll take a break. And I already know, we got a lot of shit that needs to be. So what? 15 weeks. That's almost 4 months. It's almost 16 weeks. So it's almost 4 months.
Yeah.
All right. So we can rock with y'all. If y'all rock with us, we're gonna come rock with y'all every week to show commitment and everything that even though the ball sometimes is gonna go into the bunker, we gonna still come hit that shit out every week.
We gonna hit it out every time. Every
time.
goddamn time. And we'll have fun. We'll have fun. We'll be serious sometimes. We won't be serious sometimes. I don't even think this was a serious podcast as much as it was just some real shit. And I think motherfuckers needed to hear it. Again, we remember we had that. We just had that one rule, just affecting one. We can affect one motherfucker.
That's all it takes. If one person got something out of this, it's worth the 2 hours we done spent recording.
Has it been 2?
Let me see. It has been. Shit, I can't see the time. I have to wait till.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been something like that.
Yeah, but it's been close. And yeah, man. And I tell you what, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Like I always do. I always enjoy any project that is going to impact people. That's why I love the stage. I love people. I love talking to people in passing. Like anytime you can impact somebody's life, like that's the high of all highs for me.
Of all highs. So I want you to close it out. So let me end with this. As you make progress and you try to experience growth, a challenge I can put out, which again, I all of these things I have to do on a daily basis, is just challenge yourself to go through a day and go through interactions and not personalize the actions that you don't personalize the interactions that you have with people. So if you speak to somebody and they don't speak back, don't personalize that, right? Maybe they're from a culture where they don't know, right? Because when you do that, you make a lot of assumptions about something.
Right.
All right. Dude. So when it's negative, don't automatically take it towards you. So again, when you come from our urban neighborhoods, we personalize everything because you're on defense every day. Nobody can talk about your mama. Nobody can do none of these things to you because nobody can take an inch from you. So everything is personal because you don't want to be made a fool of. Right. So that's in that environment. But just try going and just say, well, maybe this wasn't personally directed towards me. Again, there's always going to be situations and scenarios where it's a direct thing. But I'm just saying in general, interactions, don't personalize and put yourself in a place as you're experiencing growth. If you have ancestors who lived out a life to get you to this point, and take a look at that and say, well, what am I doing outside of all of this? How am outside of saying I want to be wealthy and all of these other things? What else can you do to take care of your lineage, right? What kind of education can you store in your DNA that you pass in and give to your kids? It ain't always got to be about financial. Take time to learn your history, who you are, specifically who you are. Know it, not just grandma said I got Indian in me, or grandma said I got African or Asian or whoever it is. Find out who those people are, right? Because if you're gonna leave a legacy, what's the legacy? You got to leave these artifacts. So what artifacts are you leaving? All right, again, money is what it is, but what artifacts are you leaving to push your lineage? So it's not. So what if life wasn't as personal as we all took it, and you say, well, I'm a part of a bigger picture, and so let me do my things, because as you look back and you read, you like, damn, my ancestors did all of this shit and went through all of this shit, so I got here. So what am I really doing with my life?
Man, goddamn. I think it's really fucked up that you just did all that and then you told me I'm gonna let Black close it out.
Hey, listen, baby, you the headliner, right? You are the headliner, so you know how we get it. You the headliner, so you shouldn't be worried about it.
I'm not worried about it at all, because I don't have I like how you did. I loved everything you just said. I got to preface my comments by saying that, like, that is a great life challenge for individuals to try not to personalize, go through a day without not personalizing certain things. I would like to close out just by closing out. It's just that simple. And I know it's like, yeah, what? I just want to close out. Because sometimes you got to walk away, right? And you got to know when it's enough. And what you just said was enough. And I don't have, I think we said everything tonight that we could have said tonight. And some of it was clear, some of it was unclear. But yeah, I have nothing else to say. And I am the headliner. I am the headliner. You know what? Sometimes you gotta know. You gotta know. It's like, well, it's not gonna get any better than that. I gotta come out here and perform and try. I didn't have anything prepared to close. Neither did you.
Yeah.
But I guess if I had to, I would say, which is so cliche, but you only get one. And you get to choose how you spend every minute and moment of that one. So you better enjoy the fuck out of it. If you got the ability to. And we all have the ability to. Fuck everything. Fuck everybody else. Sometimes you gotta be selfish. You're the star player. You're your best player. And you gotta be mindful of the star player, which is you. And if you don't take care of yourself, you know, can you truly say somebody else will? That's the question I want to pose. If something happened to you right now, can you really think about anybody you can rely on that is going to go to the depths to make sure you're okay? Where you can't do anything for yourself. Do you have anybody around really that's going to make sure you straight until you could get back on your own feet? And if you don't, how you going to navigate getting back on your own feet? Because you just can't sit there. Well, you could, but it ain't no atheists and foxholes. You gonna go one way or the other. You get to choose how you gonna go. So you know, yeah, some shit like that. Some shit like that. And if you can't figure that shit out, and you ain't understand what I just said, then perhaps you're not high enough. Or you're not vibrating high enough. Or maybe what I said made absolutely no sense, and I just made everybody dumber for listening to it. Like my man said on Billy Mass. Yo, shout out to Adam Sandler, man. One of the only actors that's never won an award, man, and is absolutely a Hollywood A-list killer. All right, man. That's it. We going once a week, y'all. We back. Me and my man Jack Brickhouse.
Yeah,
and
man.
Koffe Black. And it's late. And we love y'all, man. We back. We back for what you say, 15? So wait, so the next 14.
No,
right?
we're gonna do 15. So we can do 6. So this will be 1, and then we'll do 15 more.
We'll do 15 more. So we're gonna hit y'all. So in the end it'll be 16 total.
It'll be 16 total, season 2.
16. The Sweet 16s. Season 2, Sweet 16. That's what we calling it. That's what season 2 is called, Sweet 16. I'm your host, Koffe Black, with my man, my brother, the big homie, Mr. Jack Brickhouse. And we out.
I'm on a wave now. I'm on a wave. That is okay now. I'd rather get paid. Look at my face now. They got nothing to say. I'm on a wave. I'm on a wave. I'm on a wave.
She ain't got the time to do the dime I want. Been up in the sky, I won't. Let a nigga waste your motherfucking time, I won't. That'll be a crime, I don't ever wanna make you think I'ma go far, I am. For real, I'm whatever I want. You ain't know that I'm the motherfucking man I am. Scooby never slacking on fronts. I can make a shit splash, I'ma dash on way. Got a whole lot of cash in the stash on way. Got a chick in the whip with the cool on weight. That's game for the team, we don't